Hello, my friends. I'm Dr. Jocelyn, a urologist and men's health specialist with 5 years of clinical experience. And today, I'm going to give you advice that most men never hear in their lifetime. This is the kind of conversation that might make you blush a little, but I promise you, it will change the way you think about intimacy, confidence, and even your health as a man. Before we dive in, do me a quick favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing how far this community reaches, whether it's a busy city apartment, a quiet retirement town, or somewhere in between. Now, let's get into it. Here's the truth that nobody tells older men. Intimacy does not retire. Passion doesn't have an expiration date. Yet I see too many men giving up, thinking they're too old for deeper connection, or worse, that their body is betraying them. But here's the myth we need to bust today. Problems in the bedroom are not always just age. Often they're linked to small, manageable habits, things you can change starting right now. And today we're going to explore one of those exact topics men ask me about all the time. Intimacy practices that feel taboo to discuss, but actually open the door to more trust, more pleasure, and better performance. I've spent the last 5 years as a urologist helping men just like you. Men in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond reclaim confidence in their health and their intimate life. And I can tell you this with certainty. The science is clear. When men understand how the body really works, the biology, the emotions, and the day-to-day reality, they make better choices. They reconnect with their partners. They rediscover a kind of freedom many thought they had lost forever. So today, I want to break it all down into clear, practical advice you can actually use. Let's walk through 5 key truths and mistakes men often make about intimacy, fluids, and connection, each one building on the last. Stay with me because number 1 will be the most powerful of all. Habit mistake number 5, thinking vaginal fluids are dirty. Let's start here because this is the root of so much unnecessary embarrassment and distance between partners. I need you to understand something fundamental before we go any further. Vaginal fluids are not random moisture. They are a masterpiece of the human body, a biological system refined over millions of years of evolution, designed with extraordinary precision and purpose. These fluids are produced by 3 main sources working in perfect harmony. First, the Bartholin's glands, tucked near the vaginal opening, secrete a silky fluid specifically designed to reduce friction and make intimacy comfortable for both partners. Second, the Skene's glands, sometimes called the female prostate, add additional lubrication during arousal, responding dynamically to excitement and touch. Third, the cervix itself provides protective mucus that balances the entire vaginal environment, maintaining the precise pH needed to guard against infection. What are these fluids actually made of? They are mostly water, yes, but they also contain amino acids, the fundamental building blocks of proteins. They contain enzymes that actively break down harmful bacteria. They contain minerals, including calcium and zinc, and they contain lactic acid, which keeps the vaginal environment gently acidic as a natural shield against infection and imbalance. This is not waste. This is not dirt. This is the body's natural pharmacy, designed over millions of years to protect delicate tissue, reduce infection risk, and make intimacy safe and genuinely pleasurable for both people involved. But here's what happens emotionally when a man rejects or judges these fluids, even silently, even with just a look or a subtle withdrawal. It creates shame in a woman. Deep, quiet shame that she may never voice, but will absolutely feel in her body and in her heart. She begins to wonder if something is wrong with her, if she is somehow defective or unclean. That shame does not stay contained. It spreads into the relationship, into the space between you. It makes intimacy feel unsafe. She may pull away, become self-conscious, avoid closeness altogether. Not because she has stopped desiring connection, but because she is quietly protecting herself from the pain of perceived rejection. So here is the shift I want you to make today. Stop thinking of these fluids as inconvenient or uncomfortable. Start thinking of them as the body's natural signal that connection is possible and safe. They are a green light, a sign that her body trusts you, that it is preparing for intimacy. That genuine arousal is present and real. When you accept them without hesitation, without grimacing, without pulling away, you are accepting her. all of her. And that full, unhesitating acceptance is the foundation upon which everything beautiful in a long, intimate relationship is built. Habit mistake number 4, ignoring taste and smell. This is the question men ask me most often in private. Doctor, what about the taste or the smell? I understand why it feels difficult to ask. It is a vulnerable question. But you deserve a biological, honest answer, the kind that actually helps you. The truth is that fluids vary. They vary from woman to woman, from day to day, even from morning to evening within the same relationship. And that variation is completely normal. It is a sign of a living, dynamic body, not a problem to be solved. What influences taste and smell? Diet plays a significant role. Pineapple, citrus fruits, and consistent hydration tend to produce a fresher, lighter quality. Garlic, onions, alcohol, coffee, and heavily spiced foods can create a stronger, more pungent edge. Hormones shift the profile throughout the month in predictable patterns. Around ovulation, fluids tend to be more neutral, clear, and mild. Around menstruation, there may be a faint metallic note due to trace amounts of blood mixing with the fluids. After menopause, fluids may be less abundant or slightly more acidic as estrogen levels naturally decline. Stress, medications, hydration levels, and where a woman is in her cycle all continuously influence the chemistry in ways that are entirely normal and expected. Here is what matters most emotionally. Variation is not a warning sign. It is simply life. No two men smell the same after exercise. No two women taste the same either. And just as you would not want your partner to recoil from your natural human scent, she does not want to feel quietly judged for hers. Acceptance does not mean pretending you notice nothing. It means understanding that what you notice is natural and human and carries no moral weight whatsoever. Now, if there is a sudden significant change accompanied by discomfort, itching, unusual discharge, or a sharp, unpleasant odor unlike anything you have noticed before, that is usually a sign of a common, highly treatable imbalance. Bacterial vaginosis, a yeast infection, or trichomoniasis. These are not moral failures. They are ordinary medical conditions, and they are treated simply and effectively with a doctor's visit. That is not a deal breaker. That is an opportunity to show up as a caring, supportive partner and face something practical together as a team. The mistake is turning normal variation into criticism. Gentlemen, let me say this clearly. Acceptance is more arousing than judgment has ever been. When she feels accepted exactly as she is, she relaxes. And when she relaxes, intimacy deepens into something neither performance nor technique alone could ever create. Habit mistake number 3. Overlooking safety. The direct question, and I know many of you have wondered this privately, is it safe? For healthy couples who know their status, the short answer is yes. These fluids are primarily water, enzymes, and protective biological compounds. In healthy context, they are biologically lower risk than many things we do without a second thought, like kissing or sharing a glass. But here is the part I need you to hear clearly, because this is not fear-mongering, this is simply fact. Fluids can carry sexually transmitted infections. Chlamydia, gonorrhea, herpes, syphilis, trichomoniasis, and HIV can all be transmitted through vaginal fluids. The risk is meaningfully higher if one partner has an active infection, and higher still if the receiving partner has mouth sores, bleeding gums, or small ulcers that create an entry point for pathogens. The biological risk exists. Acknowledging this is not pessimistic, it is responsible. And here is the practical truth. The risk is managed simply and directly. Know your status. Get tested together. Make it a regular, unremarkable part of your shared healthcare, rather than something prompted by suspicion or fear. Twice a year is a healthy standard for sexually active adults. Use barriers when appropriate, particularly in newer relationships or when either partner's status is uncertain or unknown. The most common mistake here is assuming that no visible symptoms means no risk. Many infections are completely silent. They carry no obvious signs at all. True intimacy comes with transparency. Safety does not extinguish romance. Safety builds trust. And when trust runs deep and steady between two people, passion does not just survive. It grows richer and more satisfying with every passing year. Habit mistake number 2, staying silent out of embarrassment. I have watched couples lose their connection, not because of illness or age or incompatibility, but because of silence. A question left unasked, a concern left unnamed, a curiosity about trying something new left unspoken until it quietly became resentment. Left in the dark, concerns grow. One partner wonders, the other worries. Neither knows how to begin the conversation without risking pain, and so nothing is said. And the gap widens slowly, almost imperceptibly, until both people are living alongside each other rather than truly with each other. Biologically, the body is always changing. After menopause, after illness, after surgery, after a change in medication or diet or stress level. Fluids change, responses change, the body's timing shifts. None of this is failure. All of it is simply life moving through a body over time. But emotionally, when one partner hides their concerns, the other feels a rejection they cannot explain or address because it was never put into words. She notices you pulling away but does not know why. He seems distant but will not say from what. The space between you fills with unspoken things, and intimacy becomes something navigated rather than shared. Practically, small, untreated issues compound. A minor imbalance becomes chronic discomfort. An unasked question becomes a wall. And partners stop reaching for each other, not because love has ended, but because they have simply stopped talking in the ways that matter. The solution is not complex. It requires only this: the willingness to begin. Try something like this. I noticed something different, and I want to make sure you are feeling okay. Can we talk about it? Or, I have a question I feel a little embarrassed to ask, but I trust you completely. Can we figure this out together? That kind of gentle, honest opening does not weaken intimacy. It rebuilds it from the ground up. It says, I am here. I am paying attention. You matter enough to me that I would rather have an uncomfortable conversation than let distance grow between us. And now we arrive at the most important lesson of everything I have shared with you today. Habit mistake number 1, forgetting the emotional power of acceptance. This is the deepest truth I can offer you. When a man embraces his partner fully, including her fluids, her scent, her natural self in all its variation and humanity, he communicates something that no gift, no gesture, and no technique could ever fully express. He says without words, I accept you completely. I trust you. I love every part of you. Not just the parts that are convenient or comfortable or socially polished. All of you, exactly as you are. Right now. Biologically, that acceptance changes what happens in her body. When a woman feels genuinely accepted, she relaxes at a deep neurological level. Her nervous system shifts from vigilance to connection. Her body responds with more arousal, more natural lubrication, more sensitivity, more presence. The entire physical experience becomes richer and more connected simply because she no longer needs to spend any part of herself on self-protection. Emotionally, your acceptance does something even more profound. It quietly heals years of shame that many women carry about their bodies. Shame instilled by inadequate education, by media that has long treated female bodies as problems requiring correction, by partners who pulled away or made an offhand comment that cut far deeper than they ever realized or intended. When you accept her without conditions or hesitation, you undo some of that damage. You tell her, without a single word, that she is not too much. She is not too little. She is not something to be managed or endured. She is exactly right, exactly enough, exactly what you want. Practically, this kind of acceptance transforms intimacy from something performed into something genuinely shared. There is no performance anxiety hiding beneath the surface, no self-consciousness stealing attention from connection, no second-guessing, no hiding. Just two people choosing each other fully, again and again, with the particular kind of ease that only comes when both people feel completely safe. The greatest mistake men make about intimacy is reducing it to mechanics, duration, technique, position. Those things have their place, but they are secondary to this one truth. The single most powerful thing you can offer your partner is the experience of being fully accepted. When she feels safe, desired, and genuinely valued for exactly who she is, everything else follows naturally and beautifully. Performance improves not because you tried harder, but because the fear that was quietly blocking it has finally been removed. So what do you do with all of this? Here is a simple, honest, three-step plan you can begin today. First, have the health conversation. Suggest getting tested together, framing it not as suspicion or accusation, but as partnership. Tell her you want to take care of your health together so that intimacy can be something you both enjoy freely, without hidden worry. Make it routine, make it normal, make it an act of love, because that is precisely what it is. Second, pay attention without judgment. If you notice something different, invite a warm shower together rather than offering a critique. Encourage hydration. Support her in checking with her doctor if she has noticed changes herself. Approach any shift as a team navigating life together, never as a problem she needs to fix alone before she is acceptable to you. Small, consistent gestures of care communicate volumes. They say, I am here with you. I am paying attention. We are in this together, whatever this turns out to be. Third, practice acceptance as a daily discipline. Remind yourself regularly that her individuality is not a flaw. Her natural body is not a problem. Her fluids are signs of health, readiness, and trust extended to you. When a judgmental thought arises, and they do arise because we are all human and shaped by culture and conditioning, pause with it. Ask yourself honestly, is this thought bringing me closer to her or pushing me further away? Then choose the closer path, deliberately, consciously, lovingly, day after day after day. I know that some of you may still feel some shyness around this topic. That is entirely okay. This is genuinely vulnerable territory, and it takes real courage to engage with it honestly. But let me offer you this reassurance. You are not alone in these questions. Every man who has sat across from me in a clinical setting has asked some version of these same things. Every couple worries about some version of these same concerns. And when they finally bring them into the light, with honesty and care and a commitment to each other, their intimacy does not just survive. It becomes something richer and more alive than it was before. I have watched it happen hundreds of times. The relief on their faces when they discover they are completely normal. The renewed closeness when they stop hiding behind silence and start genuinely connecting again. Remember this clearly. Safety does not kill romance. Safety builds the trust that makes deep, lasting passion possible. You do not have to choose between spontaneity and health. You can absolutely have both. You do not have to pretend that everything is effortless and perfect. You can be honest and still be deeply loving. You do not have to arrive with all the answers already in hand. You only have to be willing to learn alongside the person you have chosen. So, gentlemen, here is the final truth I want to leave with you today. Passion does not retire. Your 60s, your 70s, even your 80s can be your most connected, most trusting, most genuinely intimate years if you are willing to let go of shame, embrace acceptance without conditions, and care for your health together as a shared act of love. Do not waste another day on gimmicks or empty promises or unsafe shortcuts that deliver nothing real. The real miracle is already present in your life. It is in the person beside you. Care for your body, talk openly and with kindness, embrace intimacy fully, without reservation, without fear, without holding any part of yourself back from the connection that is available to you right now. I am Dr. Jocelyn, and I want you to carry this with you. Small changes in how you think, how you speak, and how you show up can bring freedom, comfort, and genuine confidence back into your life in ways that will surprise you. Passion does not expire. And neither, my friends, should you.